Yo, what's up, guys? This is a fast way to level up in Diablo 4 from 1 to 50. So let's just jump into it. I was trying to find out a fast way to level up anyway, but I was chilling out in Widow's stream and asked him a question of what's the fastest way does he think to level up? And he said go from Forsaken Quarry to Sirocco Caverns, then to Alder's Cave. And I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go, see if it's fast. Now, we knew off the bat that Forsaken Quarry is a good way to level up from 0 to 15. So jump into Forsaken Quarry off the bat if you're looking at to level up fast. It's a pretty chill dungeon to go into. There's a good amount of mob density off the bat. The area is not too crazy. It is very linear and the mobs aren't too hard either. So from 0 to 15, you want to jump into Forsaken Quarry. I didn't really know this method either, but the Sirocco Caverns jump in there from 15 to 40. So I gave that a go, see how it went. It's very linear and it packs the mobs in a very tight kind of corridor, and it makes them easy to deal with as you're trying to take them out. A few elite spawn around, and spiders are pretty good for just leveling up anyway. So the Sirocco Caverns is actually a pretty good way to level up. Any other dungeon around kind of 40, if you are under geared, it does feel harder to take on. But in the Sirocco's Caverns, it actually feels a little bit easier as well. So it does make it a little bit more efficient. So I would definitely recommend jumping in here from 15 to 40. Where I did have trouble was Alder's Cave. The mobs in Alder's Cave are quite difficult, and they do deal a lot of damage and have quite high HP. And I wasn't geared enough to really take on Alder's Cave at level 40. So I didn't. I tried to find an alternative, and if you're in the same position, then I'm going to give you some tips right now. Now, a good alternative is Champion's Demise. There's only a few things that are wrong with it. It's quite a large dungeon, so it can seem quite inefficient, and you do have to backtrack on yourself, but it is Goatman. They are quite easy to kill. There are quite a few elites in there, and on top of that, the mob density is quite large as well, so you can find yourself leveling up quite fast in there. The downside is that you will have to log out to reset the dungeon unless you want to do the boss, but that is a major time sink, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. Again, you do have to kind of backtrack on yourself as well, so there's kind of time sinks in there. You can go back to Sirocco Caverns, but the issue here is once you start to level up, that you want to kind of be surrounded by mobs as well to kind of clear them faster, and because of the tunneling system in that particular dungeon makes it difficult to be surrounded by mobs. So it takes a while to try to kind of kill everything, and there's not too many elites in there either. As you start to level up as well, kind of stays where that dungeon level is. But again, that is another alternative if you do want to stay there until 50. What I did is I went over to the Cordragon Barracks. It is a very densely packed dungeon with vampires. They're not too difficult to take care of. Just avoid some of their mechanics and you should be okay. There is a lot of mob density there. There's a lot of elites. And also on top of that, the dungeon does reset once it's complete. I would recommend that you complete the dungeon every time to make it faster on yourself, and you don't need to keep logging in and logging out and logging back in again to reset the dungeon. That is a bit of a time sink as well. So what you want to do is you go into the Cordragon Barracks, kill everything. It's pretty linear. Jump out the dungeon, go to town, come back, jump back in the dungeon again, and then that will reset the dungeon. And then just keep doing that until you're about level 47. And then once you're level 40, once you're level 40, 45, 47, these are the times that you want to try and do the capstone dungeon, depending on what build you're going, what champion you're going. I tried doing it at 40, 45, and 47. I would recommend for you to do that as well, because the faster that you complete that capstone dungeon, the faster that you can start doing nightmare dungeons. And that is where the XP is right now. So it's pretty much a speed run to nightmare dungeons. Try it at 40, 45, and 47. If you're unable to do them at those three levels, then you want to try and do it at like level 50, or wait until you've got a bit more gear and then you can jump into the dungeon again. But you don't need to try and get 250 to unlock the dungeons. You just need to complete the capstone dungeon, and then you'll get the nightmare sigil. Then once you get the sigil, you're able to then do nightmare dungeons and start building and start just churning out nightmare dungeons and leveling up that way. All right, guys, so that's the leveling guide right there. Thank you to DJ for helping me out there. And I did find some alternatives as well if you are struggling, especially on Alder's Cave. But yeah, if you like that video, give us a like. And if you want to see more videos, then subscribe. But yeah, guys, I'll see you in the next one.